Welcome to the Knitting at the Seaside Farm and me, Brit Knitting Nerd. Hello and a warm welcome back if you have been here before, and welcome if you are new to this podcast called Knitting at the Seaside Farm and me, Brit Knitting Nerd. In Norwegian it describes it like this: BritStrikkenerd. Yeah. And then you learn some Norwegian too, because I am from Norway. And I have to excuse my Norwegian English, but I will jump into this English knitting word and make podcast at English and let this Mrs. Perfect go and hide herself in a corner and try it as the best I can. Yes, and I hope you will understand the meaning what I will try to speak to you about. And the most of the time it will be about the knitting, but also about sheep, because we have a sheep farm and there we have this old Norwegian sheep called Villsau, wild sheep, but in Norwegian Villsau, and I will use the Norwegian word Villsau in the whole episode and every time, I think, when I have this little knitting podcast. And my place is called Frøya, and it lay next to a city called Trondheim, if you will look in the map to see where I live. And here I live on the farm, I told you, and with my husband Ola. And today you shall have a look at Ola about many times because I have finished a jumper, a sweater to him, and he will also have a little farmer's school when he teaches us a little bit more about the Villsau and how we sheep sharing day and about this special wool. And I can give you some little taste of what he will talk about, because the fiber of this wool has two different fiber. The one is the covering here, so it's on the top, and the bottom wool is the isolation. Yes, and the cover here is very important to waterproof and to dry out the water, that the sheep can go out all the winter. It has no different when it's summer or winter, but he will the sheep will get dry self if it's raining or it's wet in the weather. Yes, and then that the farmer, my husband, will try to explain in this little farmer school, and I hope it will be something that come in the other episode in this year, where we explain a little bit more about this Villsau. So in the end of this episode, I will set in this little school lesson where Ola is telling a little bit more about his what all he know about this Villsau, because Ola has been very interested in this Villsau over a long time, and in the start of yes, I will think in the end of 1900s, 1996, 97, he was the leader of this Villsau organization in Norway. Yes, so he can very much about this Villsau, much more than me. But I have this passion on the wool and the yarn, you know, and it's a good collection with me and my husband. And I hope you see and get learn a little bit more. I hope that. But Ola is not so yes, it's not so easy for him to do that. He's not so fond of talking in this camera that I am. But he will learn, and but better and better for every time. And in this school lesson, we don't talk English, but I have tried to translate in the subscriber under, so you get this information as good as I can do. So there I also hope you understand the meaning, and hope you can get some more kunskap. I don't know what the kunskap, but learn a little bit more is the meaning I want to say to you. Yes, and this podcast I make because I love knitting and I love babbling, and I want to be known of other people in all the world. And you hear I'm bubbling and bubbling. It's very much bubbling. And in this last week we have finished the sheep shearing around our farm. And we have some island, little island around this island where there's live some of our sheep again to share. But 110 sheep are now got their wool off, and you see some of them here. There is from the sheep that was sharing in this week. Yes. So if there is someone interested in the wool, you have to take contact with me very soon, because this shall be sent to Selby Spinnery. In the last episode, you get a little interview by the leader, Maya, where she is telling about the spinnery. And all my wool from the Villsau shall go there to be this villull yarn that I love, you know. And I hope others also will love it, of course. And that is much what this podcast is about. It's about this sheep, it's about its wool, its yarn, and it's also about all that coloring knitting I love. Because it's not only this grey nature villull I love to knit with, I also love to knit with very strong, colorful knitters project, and that which you will be known of after a while, when if you come back and take a look at me. Yes, and here you see my Norwegian BritStrikkenerd mug I have today, yes, with a little tea in it. Because I'm babbling, I have to have some tea to, yes, not be so, yes, dry in my neck. It is a, can I see that, say it that way? I don't know. Oh, I babble a lot in Norwegian too, so it's the same. It's the babble all the time. Babbling and knitting, that's me. But have I been finished with something in this last week? Because it have got much time to sheep shearing, of course, but it has been a little knitting time. And the biggest project I have been finished with is the jumper. At last, the jumper to my Ola. This Johan sweater of Linnea Öhman, it's the Swedish designer, is now at last finished. Yes, and Ola is so happy to get his own villull sweater, and this is got a lot of knitting energy from me, because I started in March 2022. I have this hope to get finished when he should celebrate his 60th year's birthday in May 2022. But no, because when I start to knit this, I have get very big in these needles I choose, but the jumper was all too big, so I have to take it down again. Oh, I know what the English word is to rip it down. Oh no, I don't remember it, but I have to start one more time in the right needle, and now it was much more passed to Ola. Yes. And because when I knit this pearl, and I get a little looser knittings couch, and here we have this moss knitting in what stitches you call it, I think, in this jumper, and then it got a little looser because it's a lot of pearl knitting in this moss knit stitches, yes. And it also have this little cable down here, and a little waves pattern, I will call it, in the middle. It's the same in the front and in the back, yes. And I think Ola look very beautiful in this sweater, and here I give you some picture of him. I get to get some picture when we had this fire in over next to the sea. There we can get a fire and have a cozy time. And you see me also knitting at the seaside. Yes, oh, just the name of this podcast. And I have this picture in the front of the movie, I think, where I sit knitting and look at the sea. Yeah. But it was not that I should talk about. I should show you Ola with the jumper, and here it comes. Oh, he is a very handsome man, yes. Much love to my Ola. And now, at last, he get this jumper finish. Yes, you said this? Yes. Oh, and I am so happy to be done with this sweater. But I am very satisfied with it. I think it's been a very pretty sweater. Yes. But it go a lot of yarn. I use 8 balls of my willow. Where are my willow? Yes, 8 balls of this, and that get 800 gram. I don't know in the ounce, but 800 gram of this yarn. So it's a little heavy sweater, but my Ola, he just want the sweater to be a long sweater, and he want this long neck, so he can take it down. Yes, and perhaps it is a good thing here in Frøya, where it is a very windy island, so he'll not be freezing in this winter with this sweater, I think. Oh yes, but we have to go wider. Yes. Have I finished something more? Oh yes, I have finished this hat. This Gullungen hat, Gull Children hat. That is a pattern who this month go directly to a cancer organization when we collect in this children cancer. Yes, and this is the seahorse. And design is from Villsau, a Norwegian designer. And the seahorse, or you can call it the hippocampus. Yes. And I before make a whale hat in this same designer. And this is my willow also. So now I get this seahorse hat. So now I have a little different and difficult to choose. Shall I go with the seahorse or shall I go with the whales? I don't know, but I have something to choose about. Yes. So that was a finished project. And so my daughter, my daughter, I have a bonus daughter called Anne, and my daughter is called Tale. And Tale, she has been at home now this weekend. In the first time, very important to help me with sorting out this wool, because she is very good at that process. She is so quiet and patient. Yes, she take it very slowly, but I am a very hurry stressed woman, and that she is a very slowly lady. Yes, and that is a good thing when you shall sorting out this wool to get so much that we can send in to get our yarn, you know. But we have some time to do other things, and Tal is a very creative girl, and first we get a little inspiration to make this little, you can call it a cushion, I think. Yes, a little bag, a little cushion, and I get inspired by a designer I found in the Ravlery, who is called Yamagata. She have made this little, she call it clothes cushions, but I call it lavendel cushions, a lavendel's bag, because inside here I get this Villsau wool, and I have of course used this wool yarn and put some lavendel inside, so it smells delicious. Oh, I love the lavendel smell. I have one plant I have make in this farm because when Ulla, before I come, they have a lot of roses and tree planted, and when I come I had this big wish to make a vegetables garden, and I planted a lot of things and flowers in a big area of this farm, and I was so happy and I was so proud to get fix this. And we should put a little holiday vacation, 2 days, and when we come back all the sheep have been in this garden and eat it all. And then my motivation, why down in this back? And I don't want to do it anymore. No. But not in this big scale. In this invider, I have a little tagetes plant on. I have a little house where you plant something in that is really warmer. Perhaps I'll write it down here what it's called in English. But that house get with the wind that 1 year, and now we have not that house. But I have one plant, so it is back from this big vegetables and flower garden I make. The lavendel. I move the lavendel and take it to a place when it's very much stone and raspberry blow wild. But there is my lavendel, and that is so nice. She is survived the year after year, and I love this lavendel plant. That is mine. So I have one plant in this farm, and this is the lavendel. That is the meaning when I then took this lavendel in this wool. This is a lot of me in these little cushions, I think. And the pattern, we have played with the pattern and look at pattern books with a lot of inspiration. And this is it's the first, yes, as a try to go with something. And you see it's a little flea in this little pattern. And my daughter, she makes some waves. This is inspired where we live, seaside farm, you know. And I make this little flower, yes. And this pattern will be given some as free is in this patron page that I have for the patron. And it's not a big difficult with this pattern, but it is a little that you can use some of the leftover from the Villsau. It's the meaning of this little project. But it was fun to make, and I think I make some others, and I think it is a nice present gift to another person that they can have in a commode, you know, or lay in the living room, and they smell beautiful. Yes, so it's a tips. And it was fun to make. And another thing we was making, and I showed you a little movie last episode where I collecting wool in the fields, you know. And this wool, we have no carder, yes, hand carding, the fleece, and we now make this little knitting marker, stitch marker, and we good help from my Tale. We get a lot of them, almost 30. It takes some time to make these little wool balls, and Tale has yes, decorated with pearls and some. I think it's been very nice. Yes. So it's so nice to have my daughter here, and we have a very cozy time. And I look forward that she come home next time, that we can still going to do something fun with the wool and the yarn. Yes, it's so fun to play with each other. Yes. So that was the finished thing. Finished project. Yes, finished tingling. Yeah, from Norway. Some tea when I talk. Babbling. Because I have something on my needles, of course. I have a lot of things on my needles, but that I just know is working on. I have you got finished with a lot of project also, but that I also knit a little bit on is this colorful. Oh, this was a pang. Colorful little pullover. You know, you've seen it last time, but now I knit little more, and no, I don't think the pink is so screaming. No, I think it's going very well, and I know with the gray will come under here, it will make it a good good together. Yes, I think so. And you know, this is the between petals pullover with this Ukrainian designer living in Netherlands. I say it every time. Teti Lutsak. Yes. So that is go a little further. And so I, of course, have to cast on something new. I have a lot of other projects, but I cast on something new. And this is the Saturday shrug of Jackie Rose. And I want to see this gradient in my Villsau. You know, I have this gray and a little lighter gray and very light gray. And I think it's also fun to see it together, and I think that this shrug will be the perfect project to play with this gradient. Yes, this fade perhaps it's called in the English. And I was inspired by Amy Palko. I see her shrug, and I think it was lovely to her. And I think it's very nice to have when it's colder in the weather and you're traveling or sit in your office and it's a little cold. And you can take this shrug on you. That is like a big neck, perhaps it's called. And you take this over, like a poncho perhaps you can call it also. And then it will warm you very, very much. I also use a thread of something beautiful. I have to say, there it is. It's a baby alpaca lace yarn. It's 800 meter on 100 gram. And here are the color. It's something blue and orange. And it's smelled together with this nature gray I have in my sheep. And I think it be beautiful. Just what I want it to be. And I look so forward to and be finished with this project and take it on me. And I hope I get finished perhaps before I go to this vacation when we travel on this sailboat along the Norwegian coast. Then it will be very, very nice to have on it when I sit out on this sailboat. And I hope a lot of sunburn, but to be out in the ocean and the sea is often a little windy, and then it will be perfect with this shrug, I think. And did I say who it designed is? It's a free pattern from in the Ravlery, and it's Jackie Rose that has designed it. So if you want to knit it, you will find it there, and it of course in English. Oh yes, it's a nice project, and it's a good project to have when I am a little tired and only want to knit and don't think. And that I need sometimes. Not think. I think often too much. So that to take a little tempo down is a good thing for me. And knitting is helping me a lot. Yes. Perhaps it is like that for you too. Yes. And that was the thing I have knitting on is the last week. And on me today I have this blue delighted jumper that is a Norwegian designer who has designed this. It's called Puffin Tea. And Puffin is this little bird, this little papegøye, we call it in Norwegian. This the colorful, the nebb. Oh no, it's very many English word I not remember in my head, but perhaps you know what I mean. Here you also have this little moss stitch in the arms, but it's okay. It was only in the arms, and that I survived. I knit it last year, and the designer is called Hattestrikk Elisabeth, and I will lift her a little up because she has done a beautiful work for us in this last week. She has colored 9.5 kilo of velour in beautiful colors that will come in my online shop very soon, and we are so happy, and I almost cry when I see this color because it moved me so much that some can do that for us in this little farm we have. And yes, we were so grateful that she do that. Yes, and I also so grateful that some of you has been followed us as a patron, and I talk a little about it in the last episode, and you find the link under here if you want to be a part of support of our little farm and this podcast. Yes, that will make us very, very happy and grateful. Yes. So now, yes, that I want to talk about before this little farmer's school from Ura come in the end here, is that in Norway, in the Norwegian podcast world, I am the queen of a knit along. Yes, it's always a little knitting along in my Norwegian podcast. I love to knit together, I love to talk together, and I love to make podcast. And there we have this little happy knit along often, always. And now I think we have to have a little knit along here in this English speaking podcast of mine too. And I see there is someone now. There is to start to cast on this Villfreda that Wenche Roald have made. And in Norway, it is a hot design in these days, in this summer. I have own Wenche Roald all the year in my knit-along Ravlery, BritStrikkenerd. But I know we'll make a knit-along for you English-speaking people in my own English-speaking group on Ravlery that called Knitting at the Seaside Farm, BritStrikkenerd. Yes, you find it there, and I have this link under this episode. And the Villfreda, you have seen mine, and here it is. It's so fun to knit, and it's much similar to this rankulus and love note, but a little different up here in this yoke. So I recommend it warm, and you can play with all the yarn you want. And I have only now knit one, but I have many to do because I love this playing. And one shall be in this happy yarn of whoa, what was it? I have to have this name. Or by right, you have to go in my notes because I have talked before about her. Itamala yarn, she called. Yes, I bought it when I was in Trondheimstrik, you know. Yes. Oh, didn't. And that shall be a Villfreda. Yes, and I shall also knit a Villfreda with this other baby alpaca lace yarn I have from litle, the same as that I have in this shrug, you know. And that shall be in the white or the lightest gray. Oops, here you are. The lightest gray of my velour. And in this lace it is a pink, and it is a little glitter. And you know, a little glitter is a good thing. So I hope that will come from and that will come into the yarn, into the jumper, and we can see all this glittering. I hope very much to that in my Villfreda. So now you see I have 2 Villfreda on my plants, and I also have the third one, and that shall be in a little gray, this Ulla velour, with another mohair that I am just bought it from Hattestrikk, so you can see it in the next episode. It means 3 Villfreda that I shall knit in this year, I hope. And then I think we will have this Villfreda knit along in this English speaking group. So go on, be a member of this group and get along to knit a Villfreda with me. Yes, and you not have to knit 3, but 1 will go very well. And I think we shall have this knit along from to 1st of December perhaps, and that I can send you a little present that I hope can get in to you before Christmas perhaps. I now have sent a present, a gift at a giveaway to Ireland, and I see it was sent in the 16th of June, and after that there is no spoor. I don't see any place that my package is on their way, and it's like this have blow in the air and go over here, nowhere. So I hope it will come to you, Susan, in Ireland. And the last episode, there was someone who won a giveaway there also. And I not hear from you. I hope you get in and see it. This was Emma Butcher. Take contact with me. You won this lovely Vill yarn and this yarn from Selbu. And this time, someone is winning this little bag from my Vill symbol. And that is Hanna R fra Ostrava in Czechia. Excuse me, I have to host. News. Yes, take a little tea. Yes, from Ostrava in Czechia. Yes, you shall get this little bag if you take contact with me in Instagram, perhaps. Is the best thing. Yes. So I hope to hear from you, and happy congratulations to this prize. Yes. So this time, if you write some comments on there, I will give you a well design. Yes, and send it to you in Ravlery. Perhaps you will have this Wilfreda, or perhaps you will have something else she has written in English. The banker will have some few patterns in English, but she have someone, yes. So go on and write something down, and I love to know where you are from, because that is so exciting for me to see where all of these knitters is in the whole world. It's make me happy to see that I can connect and communication with knitters in all over the world. That make me so happy. Yes, and then we have come to the end of this episode, and then you shall get this little farmer school that I am talking to Ola, and he will try to explain how this specialty with the Villul and Villsau and our sheep sharing. And with that, I wish you a happy knitting till we see us again. Perhaps next week. I come next week. We have one in the week episode, and I love to make this podcast, and I love to see and hear from you. So happy knitting, all of you. Yes! Man skal ikke ta det på engelsk, Ola.
Nei.
Ikke enda, I hvert fall.
Nei.
Se hvem jeg har fått med meg, hvem jeg har dratt ut av traktoren. Selveste bonden. Han dere stadig vekk hører med traktoren utenfor når jeg har podcast-sending. I dag har jeg altså fått lure han ut til å snakke litt faktaopplysning om Villsau. Ja. For det er jo greit at vi kan lære litt også, og jeg må bare innrømme at jeg har nok ikke det samme kunnskapsnivået om villsauen som du har da. Sånn er det bare. Men jeg har en fascinasjon, og jeg har et engasjement, og jeg har lidenskap i hvert fall for den ulla og garnet. Det har jeg.
Det er bra.
Ja, det er bra. Men det er altså Ola, min mann, og bonden. Og det er jo han da, du, som har hovedansvaret for selve saudrifta på denne her gården vår da. Og det skal vi, om vi ikke akkurat snakke om saudrifta, så skal vi i hvert fall snakke om litt mer om villsauen og det som foregår akkurat i denne tida på året, nemlig sauklippinga. Ja. For nå i helga så har vi den store sauklipperdagene. Da klipper vi her rundt gården. Så har vi et område til da, som jeg skal ta litt senere. Men hvorfor er det sånn da at vi klipper nå, før sommeren, og ikke til våren? For det er jo faktisk det hvitsauen før de skal lamme, da skal de klippes.
Ja, det som er vanlig, det er å klippe 2 ganger, høst og vår. Men den sauen som går ut hele året, den blir kløft 1 gang. De har jo behov for den ulla selv. om vinteren. Der dekkholdet drenerer vatten, og bunnulla isolasjon.
Ja.
Så derfor så det nå ved sankthanstider. Den fellen de har brukt i fjor til overvintring begynner å mest ulla, altså røyt.
Ja,
det jo poenget, for
ja.
Den middelavsauen, den crossbreed-sauen, han slipper ikke ulla selv, så han må det klippe. Men villsauen, eller gammelnorsk sau, den slipper ulla selv. Så når vi klipper til sankthan, så det den nye fellen som holder på å vokse ut. Og da de sånn som vi kaller da punngrodd.
Ja.
Da det et lag å klippe i.
For du snakker jo, du sa ganske tidligere nå, om dette her dekkhårene, underhårene og alt det her greiene her. Som...
Dekkhårene, det jo den lengste ullfibrene som... Det blir som et tak på et hus, skal jeg si, som drenerer vannet bort fra sauen. Ja. Så det jo...
Og det som litt spesielt med den villsauen nå, ikke?
Ja, det det.
Ja.
Det to sorter oljefiber i samme fell. Bunnulla, og så det dekkhåra. Ja. Og nå da, så jo dekkhåra til den neste fellen begynner å vokse ut, sånn at det den faktisk klipper i nå da. Ja.
Og så får den vokse da til neste år igjen, sant? Ja. For da begynner den prosessen nå. Når vi har tatt av den ulla, ja. Så begynner den neste prosessen på det.
Ja, og da vokser jo ulla helt til midtvinters, skulle jeg til å si. De blir jo paret i midten av november, og da bruker de energien til andre ting. Så, og hvis du klipper noe mye senere enn sankthans, da, med å si at du klipper i september, så klipper du bort for mye av det dekkhåret til overvintring og til sauen.
For sånn i boka, som det står, tenkte å si i boka, så står det jo også at den bør gjøre det før juli.
Ja da, det skal ikke være for tidlig, for de skal bli punngrodd. Det må være sånn, at det sauen vi kløft nå, 110 stykker, så tror jeg det var 1 eller 2 som var litt for lite punngrodd. Ja. Men nyfellen har begynt å komme da, så det veldig ok.
Ja. Jeg og Tale som liksom sortert ut ulla da, synes for det året her har vært helt fantastisk ull. Og det kan jo være litt med været som har vært. For det at det har jo, før vi kløpte nå, vært veldig fint vær og tørt og sånt. Så vi synes at vi kastet litt ull i år da, i forhold til tidligere år.
Det jo
ull. Jeg tok med meg bitte litt av det vi har kløpt da. Så dette det du mener dekkull.
Nei, det bunnull da.
Og det bunnull, ja. Der
ser du det. Isolasjon.
Der isolasjon.
Og det dekkull, det jo dem på baksiden, lange fibrene som vanndråpene setter seg til, og så renner dem av. Så det drenerer vannet.
Ja, og det var jo noe som var spesielt sånn historisk sett. Hvorfor villulla var veldig bra å bruke i vikingtida.
Ja, da kan du ikke bruke klippmaskiner da. For det som skjer da, det at du åpner den ullfiberen. Ja. Så den begynner å trekke vann.
Men da gjorde de litt sånn som jeg viste sist, at jeg gikk og hentet ull på...
Eller du napper fellen. Og da har du en ullfiber som heil i begge endene, som ikke trekker vann. Ja,
for vi napper ikke. Nei, det tar litt tid. Men vi klipper. Så her kalte du altså dekkhår, og under her ser du litt grann av bunnhårene.
Ja, det var isolasjon.
Så når jeg viser en liten film her nå, så tenkte jeg, først nå så ser du hvordan en Ola begynner å starte denne klippingen, med at den åpner opp foran i halsen. Det gjør den liksom, sånn snur opp sauen og åpner. Og så har vi litt sånn klippebukk, kaller jeg det i hvert fall. Kaller du det?
Ja, sånn pensjonist tilrettelegging.
Ja,
Stive rygger.
ja, for dette siste episode så de litt når du var sånn supermann og så på snudd dem, sånn som på New Zealands vis, tenkte å si, men nå har vi fått oss pensjonistbok. Og det tror jeg greit, vi får ryggen. Men det dere ser her nå da, det når de kommer opp på den boken, da åpner du opp på ryggen med kløppmaskiner.
Og da kløpper jeg jo i den gamle fellaget.
Ja, så når jeg nå viser, så ser dere at vi åpner litt, så ser dere det her nye ulla som kommer ned bunn.
Ja,
sant?
Og dekkåret til neste film.
Ja, så vi da kløpper bort, så det ser dere gjennom den.
Det du startet med i stad, Britt, hvorfor at denne hen var viktig, det var når de laget den vikingsegla, så var det ikke importert bomullsstoff fra Kina, men da var det gammelnorsk sau. Og den dekkåra, det brukte de til renning. Det går an å dele, så at du får ut dekkåra.
Renning i en vev, sant?
Så det laget de til renning.
Ja, så det her.
Mens altså bondulla var innslag, og det gjorde at det ble et kjempesterkt segl. Og et poeng var jo at sauen røyte, at ullfibrene var tett. For hvis de hadde vært åpnet med saks, så hadde de trukket vatten, og seglet har vært i flere tonn. Og segl på 50-60 kvadrat, og de kan ikke, de må avvise vann.
Men det var i hvert fall litt om den kløppinga, og hvorfor vi gjør det en gang i året, og litt sånne ting, og hva som bunnull, og hva som dekkhår. For øvrig, ser dere at den har fått på seg genseren?
Ny genser.
Ny genser! Nå har han også fått villullgenser da. Den heter Johan egentlig, og jeg som heter Linnea Öhman fra Sverige, så designet den. Så nå endelig da har bonden også egen villullgenser. Det skulle nå bare mangle da, du ikke ha det. Men jeg var litt mer kanskje om det her villsauen. For akkurat den villsauen vi viser fram nå i det her med klippinga, så det er jo en dame, og hun har horn. Og så er det mange som sier, men det er jo bare geiter som har det. Men det har jo også noen av villsausøyen, de har jo også horn. Hvordan ble det?
Det er jo den norske opprinnelige landrasen med sau, gammelnorsk sau. Og de hadde mellom 10 og 15% hornanlegg. Og det som skjedde på begynnelsen på 1900-tallet, det var at det ble bortavla. Det som ble spersau, da hadde de allerede gått i gang med å ta bort det egenskapene. Dem har vi prøvd å ta til vare på, vi da. Og har besetninger med både koller og sauer uten horn, og søyer med horn. Vi er vel kanskje litt flere med hånd, fordi at jeg synes de
Ja, for sånn historisk sett, sånn da jeg kom inn i bildet her i nærklubben, så var det da du begynte egentlig å sortere ut dem og avle mer på dem med horn. Husker du var veldig opptatt av det i starten når du plukket ut lam, så var du opptatt av å få lam av søye med horn, sant? Så du avlet videre. Og det har jo funket, for vi har fått veldig mange med horn nå da. Og så er det noe annet som hvis en skal se etter den gammelnorske sauen, den villsauen, så er det jo en annen type ting å se etter.
Ja, det er jo korthale sau, som gir opprinnelse fra Eurasia eller fra Uralfjellet, altså østlig opprinnelse, og de har mye kortere hale enn den middelhavssauen. Ja,
og den korthale er vel det du nesten som kaller litt ursauen da?
Ja, det er jo det. Det er jo mufflonsauen som er...
Masse faguttrykk her nå, folkens. Må dere følge med?
Ja, mufflonsau, det er den europeiske villsauen, som er ordentlig vill, som ikke har hus og eier.
Nei.
Så det er jo...
Og de bor i området?
Ja, da kommer det til Tsjekkia, Sveits...
Så det noe hvis du liksom vil ut og sjekke om det den reinrasa korthale, så må de ha korthale da.
Ja, de må ha korthale.
Det jeg litt opptatt av.
Litt færre beinsegment i halen
enn dalasauen.
Ja.
For eksempel.
Ja. Og en spersau.
Og spersau. Ja. Så det jo litt sånn, det litt sånn spesielle med den villsauen da. Ja, ellers Ola, så holder vi nå på litt da, selger litt villullgarn og... Ja. For hvorfor prøver vi litt på det? Jo.
Ja, nei, det jo fordi at jeg som sauedriver, jeg graver jo stort sett ned den ulla. Og vi jo hyller på i snart 30 år for å prøve å få et avsetning på det. Det som det naturproduktet det Så
vi sier jo at dette her vårt lille mikroprosjekt med å kunne løfte opp litt grann det her med villsauulla da, så det jo jeg som har da brukt litt tid på det, gjennom podcast for eksempel, og det med Patreon nå da, som vi har, som støtter oss litt grann i det prosjektet også. Det synes vi stas, Ola.
Ja da, det stas.
Ja, det veldig stas at vi har fått en del sånne støttemedlemmer som heier litt på oss på sidelinja. For det jo ingen penger å hente i det her. For så vidt lite i villsau, men det jo noe vi tar jo vare på en kulturtradisjon, en kulturhistorie.
Ja,
så mye av det jo der også.
Det handler jo om kulturlandskap på kysten da. Sauen går ut hele året.
Ja, folkens, det tenker jeg skal bli en sånn annen liten faktasnutt fra Norda, når vi skal gå litt igjennom det her med kulturlandskapet og den seregnheten villsauen, hvordan de beiter, og hvordan du da spesielt da ser etter beite, trett å si, historikken i kystlandskap, i kulturlandskapet da. Og det tror jeg må bli en egen episode. Vi kan ikke ha alt på en gang i denne fakta.
Det kan fort bli mye det.
Det kan fort bli mye. Men vi hadde lyst i dag å snakke litt mer inngående da, litt om det her med ulla, akkurat den tida her nå, som har med sauklipping å gjøre. Så derfor, da må jeg invitere selveste bonden. Og han lovet jo med det, når han fikk seg genser, da skulle han bli med. Og nå han jo endelig ferdig, og nå var vi så heldige at flere kan jeg høre alle de kloke ordene du har, og kunnskapen du har.
Det spørs.
Det spørs, ja. Ja, da tror jeg sier takk for denne gang, Ola.
Vær så god.
Og plutselig så kan jeg hende jeg greier å lure den ut en gang til. Du får si hei og hallo til dem ute der.
Ha det bra.